I want to start off by mentioning that I love watching Asian Pacific teams, especially when they play each other. It's very stark from how other teams approach the game at times. You're basically seeing the Overwatch and Apex Legends influence of Valorant, rather than just the CSGO side of things. When they play, I'm fully invested from beginning to end. Also, in every tournament, it seems that there's at least one or two fan favorite teams that the world loves to root for from this region. It's either the team's story or style of play. The only thing that the APAC region is missing is an international trophy. This is where I start to get worried for the VCT Pacific teams. There have been a total of 9 official global tier 1 tournaments held by Riot Games and Valorant. Of those 9, the APAC region didn't lift a single one. They came close, but as Ricky Bobby says,
"If you ain't first, you're last."
Well, even then, some might say it isn't such a big deal since the scene is so young and whatnot. But during this time, there's only been 3 fully fleshed out regions. Only 3! But 9 international tournaments? When a region has a 1 in 3 chance of kissing the grand prize but it hasn't, then you have to start saying the math just ain't mathing. Now, I know it's not really 1 in 3 since some regions may have an extra team attend an event and whatnot, but at this point, I would think it should be better than 0. And it's not even like the region is bad. The top teams from here are pretty damn good. They can go toe to toe with the best of them from other places. It's just odd that it hasn't happened yet. Also, during this offseason, ask yourself this. Have those top tier Pacific teams actually gotten better or worse? As well as the question, have other regions gotten more competitive and better too? Despite what Busio said leading to and at champs, China is not that far behind. They made surprising strides in Tokyo and champs too, pushing other top tier teams further than others expected. One of them even helped fans see cracks in a pretty good NA team at the time. Imagine if a Chinese org is somehow able to get an international trophy before the likes of DRX or PaperX. The C in APAC might start standing for a certain word that I don't even want to say at this time because it's kind of harsh for their accomplishments so far.
Choke! He's choking!
In this video, I'll go over each team in the APAC region that seems to be the most interesting to me and see if they've done enough to maybe one day be the first team out of Asian Pacific to lift a trophy. Let's start off with DRX. Before the offseason began, I actually thought they had a pretty good chance and even had them rated over PaperX for 2024. That's saying a lot because PaperX is the team I love to watch the most from here. I had DRX over PRX because I value team chemistry and the eye test for DRX solidified them as a team not to be counted out. While PaperX is losing possibly the world's best race player in Jink. DRX also pushed Loud to a 5-game series in lock-in while Loud had home court advantage. They even got out of the group of death in Champs 2023, a group that had world champions from top to bottom. It was only DRX that didn't have any. That should just speak volumes to their ability and potential. I even remember Sideshow talking about how this core of players low-key evolved this game further.
It's such a beautifully timed play. Everything is working in perfect synchronization. So look at the minimap. You can see the blind come out, as well as the recon arrow is going to hit at the back towards here. They dash out. That's the blind that just came through here above headshot box. And then as the sage backs around the corner, here's another blind at the top here, which again, I have no idea how this breach shoots this blind. I don't even know the mechanics of how you get the blind to land here. I've never seen it before. It is normally a blind that would have literally no value, but they found this specific thing and a niche play to be able to immediately catch this sage. And also you might think, well, what the hell is this Omen doing here? How did they get the second kill on the Omen? Well, this is the guy that got pushed back based on the Omen blind that's coming down C long, and then has to kill a recon dart that's above him right there. Just a wonderfully, beautifully executed set play on on Haven to be able to catch your opponent unawares and make them very scared that you're going to do a play like this in multiple rounds in the future.
However, now, Zes and RB got removed from the team, which is mind-blowing to me. They were a part of a core that went 134-0 in the Korean circuit at one point in time, but now are replaced by Flashback and Foxy 9. I won't count them out just yet though. We could see the same thing that happened when Demon 1 was subbed in for BCJ. A decision that a lot of people at the time questioned but ultimately seemed to be proven right. I just hope that they have a solid 5 players that they plan on using and don't constantly sub in and sub out. However, only time will tell if DRX actually got better from these changes. Now for Paper X. This team has had 3 close calls to get that sweet prize. Shoot, we could even say 4 if you want to call their 4th place finish at Masters Reykjavik as one too. This team is the embodiment of screw it, we ball. And when it works, it looks amazing. And when it doesn't, fans just typically shrug it off and say,
I mean, if it's not drawing, then it's not Paper X.
However, the recent 2nd place finish at Champs 2023 felt different. They should have won it. They already beat EG once. They had map pick advantage. It was supposed to be the perfect ending to Jing's temporary break from Valorant due to military service. But as we know now, it didn't turn out that way. Just another reason to hate EG, I guess. I really don't know how much Jing will be a part of Paper X in 2024. He has been playing in some off-season events for them, which could be seen as a head scratcher. This is because the plan is to have Monyet replace him, and the off-season is a great time to get reps in with the team to help build that chemistry. I honestly don't know how to feel about it. On one hand, you're telling me that they're trying to go for one more run with Jing. Hell yeah, I'm so down for that. But on the other hand, it's really reminiscent of Foxy9 subbing in and out for DRX in 2023. It's like trying to have your cake and eat it too. It just doesn't work from what we've seen so far. It's unlikely that he will play for Paper X in 2024 in the kickoff tournaments, but at the end of the day, you have to think, is Paper X going to be better without Jing, who is probably the world's best race player? You can see it as an opportunity for something to thrive even more, and hopefully not play Breach anymore. I'm not saying he's bad on Breach either, but him not on a duelist is doing a great disservice to his talents. Jing gone could also open the door for more interesting team comps, since Forsaken can play damn well any agent. The Vi and Myfreak aren't players that you should sleep on either. I don't know much about Monyet, but people are saying that he should fit with the team pretty well. But at the same time, you're losing Jing, a player that helped carry Paper X hard in Masters Tokyo. They didn't have Ilya, aka something, on the team. They did pretty good during the off-season tournaments as well, but lost to Sentinels twice, a team that's looking to be a top contender in the Americas. But at the same time, off-season results don't always translate to the official season. I could see Paper X going either way, to be honest. But regardless of how their season goes, you know you will be entertained watching them nonetheless. Now we have Bleed, the Sentinels of the Pacific region when it comes to dropping massive bags for players. They earned their spot in T1 the old-fashioned way by beating up teams in the Ascension League with a convincing 3-game sweep in the finals. They only lost 1 match during this Ascension run too. Truly signs of smurfing at the pro level. I fully expect them to come out swinging to show the world that they deserve to be at the top of T1 and even make Riot reconsider the guest spot thing for them. And during Ascensions, we saw them truly shine on the defensive end, as well as some players like Scary just dominate. He's my favorite type of controller, the fragging type. Think King from Leviathan or Mindfreak when he chooses to clutch up with 3 or 4Ks. But they added 2 new players in Egoist and Ye. I'm not going to pretend like I know much about Egoist, but it seems like he's a Sentinel main who has dabbled with Gecko and Viper. Ye is the real story here though. After getting booted by C9 due to role issues, he was out of options when it came to T1. Instead of sitting out the year, he chose to play in T2 with DSG, where he turned out with poor results and drama. These things could have tanked his stock heading into 2023 season as a free agent, but Bleed threw the bag at him, and now this NA import takes his redemption arc across the Pacific Ocean. And with all that being said, I can definitely see Bleed challenge the throne for APAC this year, if they can get their chemistry and team identity down, which I might not be able to say about the next 2 teams. I also want to talk about ZETA Division, because they were the first Cinderella story to be born from the Pacific region at a T1 global stage. It happened during Masters Reykjavik, where they went on a crazy lowers bracket run, only to lose to eventual tournament winners in Optic. This was such a crowning achievement that they kept their original team of players together all the way till Champs 2023, which some might have seen as way too long. So, in the offseason, they decided to pick up 2 new players to replace Crow and Ten. Crow is still on the team as a coach though. I really hope they do well too, since the Japanese crowd in Masters Tokyo, in my opinion, was the best out of all the main events in T1 this year. It will still be an uphill battle, in my opinion though. To make a jump from being grouped in champs to being on top of your region will not be an easy path. But hey, Valorant is a tournament esport, and anything can happen at the beginning of a season. Lastly, we have T1. They were grouped in both Masters Tokyo and Champs 2023. They were also my dark horse to surprise people in both tournaments, but they fell short to prove my guess right. They picked up Rossi and Excurate, which may help. However, they also let go of King because they placed last in the 10 Global Invitational offseason tournament. I'll keep an eye out on them, mainly because I like Saya player when he was on the guard, as well as Carpe's story being pretty cool, and Overwatch Pro leaving the scene before it completely sunk. Overall, I have to say the throne for APAC is in question. To me, it's a race between Bleed, DRX, and PaperX. However, for each team, I don't know if these offseason moves will be enough to take down the top teams in other regions. Only time will tell which team took the offseason seriously enough, and if they have what it takes to be the first ones to lift a trophy for one of VCT's winless region. I also want to hear from you though. Which of these teams I mentioned do you think will do the trick? And was there a team that I should have included that I didn't? Where would you rank all the APAC teams? Let me know down below, and I'll see you later.